Welcome to the Bi-Weekly Show, where our news is as legitimate as our show is on schedule. Before our show begins, we would like to quickly discuss the attempted kidnapping last week on Moana Drive. We are glad the PLNU student is okay, and our thoughts and prayers go out to her. Last, we would like to send an official statement to the attempted kidnapper. So tonight, we are not going to talk about the national election at all. Nada on elections. To my fellow Trump supporters, nada means, would you like extra sour cream on that? So some of you may have heard about the recently published scientific explanation and discovery to why everybody hates Nickelback. This is groundbreaking stuff. The study is about as useful as when the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia discovered that car seats protect overweight kids too. Seriously, check it out. I too was surprised. I sent the study to my Uncle Don, who, thanks to the study, now buckles my baby cousin Wyatt in his car seat. Before, they just tied him on top of the Jeep while he bleated like an injured antelope. The noise was unbearable. Which leads us back to Nickelback. The study states that some individuals avoid Nickelback because they find it just a cheap knockoff of Nirvana. However, I personally think Nickelback stole the sound of Nine Inch Nails on a chalkboard. The study continued to say that people listening to the band found it too similar to other beloved bands. Hypocritical, lacking authenticity, fake, sanitized, made for commercial reasons. Sorry, none of that. I've really tried to become a better host. Recently, I actually got to talk to my father, Garrison Keillor, host of the Prairie Home Companion, about how to become a good host. Full disclosure, he's not my father, but he's my adopted one, and clearly he loves me as one. So Garrison, new season of Bi-Weekly is coming up. Any tips on hosting?
When you talk to people, look them in the eye contact, very important. And even in radio, you need to practice eye contact. And get right to the point. Cut to the chase. Ask them how much money they have. And who they would be willing to run into a burning building to rescue.
Who would you be willing to run into a burning building?
My daughter, for sure. I knew that the moment she was born. I knew here's somebody I would give my life for.
And then me as a close second?
My wife would be a very close second.
Many of you are excited about the new Game of Thrones season being released, and as the characters say, winter is coming. But here on campus, spring is not only coming, but it's already here. And you know what that means. To the non-Nazarenes out there, or those that don't attend a Christian college, the Ring by Spring phenomenon is such that nearly everyone you know by the end of senior year will be engaged or married, hence Ring by Spring. Whether getting married so early is appropriate or wise is up in the air, and here to weigh in and debate the topic are our bi-weekly contributors, Josh and Connor, and later, Dr. Ross. Thanks for being here. Much like the presidential debates, each of you have a limited amount of time, no more than 20 seconds here. And similarly, if your time expires, yell at each other and don't listen to anything I have to say.
Before we even discuss this idea, can we all realize how stupid getting married at 22 is? Barely a tenth of our lives are over. I believe Admiral Akbar described matrimony between two young people best when he said, "It's a trap."
That's the point, Connor. The students need to get married before they're 22. 22 is the new 32. I think I speak for, well, most of us when I say we peak at 22. After all, look at Chip Pitkin. Everything after 22 is a sad downhill slide into cankles and regret.
Well, Ring by Spring is just a myth perpetrated by Etsy just to get you to buy those handmade chartreuse and periwinkle tablecloths for the hipster wedding you've always dreamed about.
Well, when they throw in the mason jars for half price, how could I say no? I was also leaning towards a lavender and puce theme, but I'm flexible.
I politely disagree, you pasty, ice cream melt looking fatty.
Dad bodies are the new chartreuse tablecloths, Connor. And let's be real. All women of worth should be proposed to before college ends. The only reason you oppose Ring by Spring is because you have nobody special to propose to.
That's not true. I'm saving myself. Dr. Ross?
Yeah, Dr. Ross, glad you could join us. You have 14 seconds.
They got 20.
I think we can all agree that 70% is fair.
Well, the idea that women somehow need validation from this outdated patriarchal concept in which the construct implies male ownership of all
And that's time.
I thought you said GOP debate rules.
Well,
I would like to question the opposition's reductive perspective of reducing a woman's worth in college to a small metal band.
Josh, that's a good point. How do you respond to Dr. Ross?
I also think they are very cute points.
The show is not only stupid, but entirely misogynistic.
Dr. Ross, we're bi-weekly, but we're not bisexual.
Anyways, Connor, why are you so annoyed with Ring by Spring? Seriously.
Truthfully, I'm annoyed with you, Josh. You were 30 minutes late to lunch yesterday. The waiter asked me 5 times if someone was coming.
Sorry, were you saying something?
Maybe if you put down a pastry and picked up a book by Simone de Beauvoir, you'd know this, Josh.
I doubt any novel could top what heart-wrenching classics Nicholas Sparks is churning out, so I think I'll have to pass on de Beauvoir. Nah. Back to you, Jordan.
Thank you. This has been educational and enlightening. Stay tuned. After the commercial break, we'll have Bob Goff.
I believe in the purest form of vitamin C based beverages. Some people don't understand, some people laugh. But the truth is, no one's laughing when they try my emergency. To me, brewing is, it's more than just making a drink. It's about an expression of an ideal. And at the end of the day, that's all what it's really about. I just get this overwhelming sense of glee when someone tries it and I see their smile broaden and their teeth show a yellow tint from the emergency dye. And I make emergency. The C stands for craftsman.
Welcome back. Bob Goff allowed us into his classroom. Check it out. Hey, we're here for the bi-weekly show with Bob Goff. As you know, he's Ambassador Uganda, saltwater taffy enthusiast. Bob, for students at Loma that aren't able to join this awesome class, how would you describe it to them? Like, what would you say is the point, or like, what made you do the class?
Oh, I did it because you guys rock. Like, literally, what God has done throughout history just takes young people to change everything. Guys like me were supposed to be helpful and then get out of the way. So this class is about people that have like failed. People that have messed up. It's almost a requirement to be my friend. You got to mess up a little bit.
We'd be great friends.
Yeah, totally. We'd have so much in common. So what we do is we bring people that have tried things, and you'll know of all of them, and where it didn't work out. I don't need another success story. I want to talk about humble people that are making their way forward and following love's lead, and doing it in the middle of the failures.
Great. Thank you so much, Bob.
Hey, thanks a million. See you guys.
And so the trick, to me, in terms of failure, is always say, number one, this doesn't define me. Number two, there is going to be a tomorrow. But so many of us sort of like get stuck in the failure versus saying it's a moment in time. It's just a chapter in our story. The key is to keep writing and to keep doing your story, knowing that really God's ultimate purpose for our lives is good, and it will be good, but you got to keep showing up and keep trying things.
Awesome. Great words from Mike Foster. Mike, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome.
Well, that about wraps up our show. Next month's story. Dr. Robert Thompson loves the New York Yankees more than life.
Jordan Andrew James Hill?
Did you steal my debit card in Tijuana?
You're a fool.
Best 4-letter F word I've heard. Who are you?
Michael Christensen. Class of 77, one of the original 12 bluntees, as we were called back in the day. Here to crash your show.
Class of 77, you're still alive? I mean, yeah, I've heard of the Bunties during the days on campus when sweatpants were still properly prohibited.
40 years ago, we championed radical ideas, independent journalism, and free speech. We engaged the administration and student body in serious issues of our day through our underground newspaper. When they censored The Point, we started The Blunt. But you and The Point Biweekly, you're trivial, man, not serious, and you ought to be ashamed. Asking President Broward to reinstate the ban on dirty dancing? Disgusting. Alcohol? Preposterous. And when you did that wet stoning Chaplin joke, over the top vile.
We pulled that.
Nudist colony references, shameless self-promotion for the play you were in. Really, Jordan?
The people needed to know I was a sexy butler, Michael.
Ring by Spring. I mean, it's an adorable start, really. Not The Blunt, but it's cute.
We are a serious show. How else would students get feedback on important issues like Halloween costumes and Winnie the Pooh's pantslessness?
Like the net, use the Google, MySpace.
Exactly my point. Modern times are much more serious than the past. Chief Keef and Little B are so much better than Jimi Hendrix.
Jimmy, man.
Tomato.
Tomato, lava lamp, whatever. It's a cute show.
This gives students what the administration wants them to know. I mean, what students need to know. I've read some of the original issues from The Blunt from 75 to 76, and you people did some entertainment pieces too. As I recall, some of your editorial issues were, why are there dorm hours for girls and not for boys? Something we should reinstate. Should Charlie Crusader really be the PLNU mascot? Did the Easter Bunny die for our sins? The only real contributional piece, the Pulitzer-winning Art of Seduction.
Thanks. Tasteless humor or serious satire? That is the question for The Point Biweekly, as it was for The Blunt in its time. Are you blunt-worthy?
Will this break covenant?
Dr. Carol Foster?
Oh, you're there. Great. Sorry, I was just watching a cat video. Let me turn this off. So, we're here to honor Jordan Hill. On behalf of the selection committee for the Riley Fitch McKinney Scholarship for Independent Journalism, I would like to welcome you as our Blunt Scholar for 2016. It wasn't easy to qualify for this award. You have to be witty, gifted, well-read, and socially conscious. You managed to meet all these criteria just by getting Dr. Broward to dance with you, which is something I truly never thought I would see. And I just want to let you know that if you think about doing that again in the future, maybe you should both try getting some dance lessons. Now, when you graduate, you'll become an official bluntee. We hold off until graduation because most of the bluntees were temporarily expelled, and we don't want you to suffer that exact same fate. At any rate, we heartily commend you on your wonderful award. We want to honor you. Just don't let the administration find out, Jordan.
Let me pass you the blunt. It's a $5 coupon for McDonald's.
Wow, sweet. That's all from us here at the Biweekly. Have a good night.